Namaskar friends, this is Dr. Anand Pod. I am working as a professor and head in the Department of Rognidan and Vikruti Vignan at Government Ayurved College, Vadodara. I did my bachelor's degree in the same college where I am working now, and my post graduation was completed from the Department of Rognidan at IPGT and RA Jamnagar. I completed my doctorate degree from the reputed National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur, which is affiliated to the Rajasthan Ayurveda University, Jodhpur. I am teaching this subject Rog Nidan and Vikruti Vignan since 20 years. Previously, I worked in the different colleges like Gomantak Ayurved College, Goa, then GJ Patel Ayurved College, Vallabh Vidyanagar, then JS Ayurved College, Nadiyar, and since almost 1.5 years, I am working at the Government Ayurved College. So, this subject which I am teaching, Rog Nidan and Vikruti Vignan, it is taught in the second year of BAMS curriculum, that is Bachelor's of Ayurvedic Medicine and Surgery. The curriculum is designed by the Central Council of India and it is very important subject. It is considered as a bridge between preclinical subjects like anatomy and physiology and the clinical subjects like Shalya Shalakya, medicine, surgery, etc. So it provides a vital bridge between preclinical and clinical subject. Very important subject. Before starting treatment of any patient, it is very necessary to make a correct diagnosis of the patient. Without correct diagnosis, it is almost impossible to treat the patient or to decide a line of management treatment. So, being a Ayurveda physician and a diagnostician, I am really happy to share my views on my subject, which I am teaching since almost 20 years. And in the series of lectures you might be attending since last 2 weeks under the umbrella of Youth of Ayurveda, and today I am going to present some outline about my subject, which is very helpful for the students who are planning to take admission in BAMS either in India or abroad. Let's explore the concept of Rog Nidan and Vikruti Vignan. As mentioned by me earlier, that Ayurveda text very important concepts are mentioned, and according to the Charak in Vimansthan, he said that Jnana Purvakam hi karmanam samarambam prashansanti kushala. A wise admire action initiated with due knowledge. So before commencing any part in our life, we should have adequate knowledge. When we are preparing any food item in the kitchen, as we study well that how to prepare, what the things are required, we assemble them in the initial stage, and then only we proceed for the making of any food item or delicious food item. So similarly, Ayurveda also emphasis is given that before starting treatment part or commencing treatment, it is very much required for the Ayurveda student or physician that he should have adequate knowledge of Ayurveda concepts, Tridosha theory, Panchamahabhut theory, etc., and then only he should think of proceeding for the treatment part. In the Charak Sutrasthan 20th shlok, it is mentioned that Rogam Adav Parikshet Tato Anantaram Aushadam. The physician should first of all diagnose the disease and thereafter he should administer the therapy applying the knowledge of science of medicine. So it is very much important for the Ayurveda physician that he should have a in-depth knowledge of rog, disease. Before starting the treatment, he should able to conduct all the physical examination. He should have all the equipments with him or her, and then only he should go for the treatment part. So friends, already we discussed the importance of the subject knowledge before starting any line of treatment. Now let's discuss the how Ayurveda defines the Vikruti, concept of Vikruti or morbidity, how disease development or pathogenesis is explained in Ayurveda in a very brief manner. Let's have a look on that. Now let's have a look on the concept of disease mentioned in Ayurveda. Ayurveda believes that the derangement of dhatus or body elements, whereas the equipoise of dhatus is considered as health. As clearly stated by the Charak Acharya, is that vikaro dhatu vaishamyam. Any disturbance in the body elements is considered as responsible for the manifestation of disease. Similarly, samyam prakrutir uchyate means maintenance of this body elements is considered as prakruti or health. At metaphysical level, health is considered as sukha or feeling of pleasure, whereas vikara or disease is considered as sorrow or dukkha, or we can say it can be considered as discomfort in day to day life. So one has to understand the concept of prakruti before the concept of vikruti. The concept of prakruti is very nicely explained by Charak in the same chapter, Vimastan Adhyaya 8th chapter, that individual possesses a different type of prakruti or bodily constituency, and maintenance of health is only can be possible by identifying this. So how to identify this prakruti? As I discussed in the earlier slides, that the concept of vikruti or disease manifestation only occurs when this prakruti is not mentioned. So one has to identify his or her own prakruti, and further last time I think in the Kriya Sharir or the Ayurvedic Kriya Sharir or physiology lecture, it might have been discussed in the detail, but Vat, Pitta and Kapha, three doshas are very important, and they help us in maintaining the prakruti or homeostasis of the disease. Entire Ayurveda science is based on the Tridosha theory, or the three humors which are considered as a very important constituents of body, like Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Without their homeostasis, it is impossible to maintain the health in the body. So Vata, Pitta and Kapha, let's have a look on that. So the concept of three dosha, that is Vata, Pitta and Kapha, is very important. Even further, these three doshas or humors of the body, they are classified into further five types to study the in-depth functioning of this dosha, and maintaining of this dosha to their normalcy is very important. Even our day-to-day life also, slight variation in the status of this dosha always takes place. We sometimes observe that sometimes in the morning hours we feel like cold, sneezing, etc. That is the normal variation in the kapha dosh. That does not convert into the disease, and it gets subsided as the day progresses. Similarly, sometimes in the afternoon, after eating some spicy food, etc., we feel some burning sensation. That may be the slight rise in the pitta level, that may not again converted into the hyperchlorhydria or acidity permanently. It gets subsided after taking milk, etc. Similarly, during evening hours, sometimes we feel slight pain in the body. That may be due to the normal variation in the status of Vata. So all this, these are the only examples that how these three doshas are helpful in maintaining health. And when the same doshas get vitiated by change in the lifestyle or seasonal variation or many other factors, then the same three doshas may be responsible for the manifestation of disease, or may lead to the vikruti or disease manifestation. Another very important concept is Panchamahabhuta concept. Ayurveda believes that our body, all the tissues, etc., are formed from this Panchamahabhuta, combination of Panchamahabhuta. So homeostasis of this Panchamahabhuta is also required along with the Tridosha. Some scholars of Ayurveda gives very much emphasis on the Panchamahabhuta concept, like Tridosha. This is also a very important concept. Like Panchamahabhuta are mentioned as Prithvi, Jal, Teja, Vayu and Akash. As said in Ayurveda, Yat Pinde Tat Brahmande, or Yat Brahmande Tat Pinde. whatever is there in our body, the same things are also available in the universe. So the homeostasis between all these are also equally required for the maintenance of health. Why we are discussing Prakriti or maintenance of health? Because unless you study the Prakriti, you will not able to study the concept of Vikruti or disease manifestation. So Panchamahabhuta are also very important. They play a very important role in the constituent or the development or nourishment of our body and maintenance of. Another very important concept mentioned in the Ayurveda or emphasis is given on the Agni, the digestive power, and Ayurveda believes that Agni, status of normal Agni, is very important in the maintenance of health. Without the normal Agni, the person cannot maintain his health. Whereas when modern science believes in the nutrition more than digestion, whereas Ayurveda believes in the digestion than nutrition. So unless you have a good or proper digestive power, it is difficult to maintain the health or even the homeostasis or even the normal status of Tri Dosha and Panchamahabhuta. So next slide you will be seeing the importance of Koshtha, in which many organs resides along with the Jatharagni or the digestive power. So it is very important. Again, one more concept. The Koshtha is a very important concept mentioned in Ayurveda. Ayurveda says there are various organs situated in the Koshtha. Koshtha is like a powerhouse where the power or electricity is generated. Similarly, in our body also, Koshtha is considered as powerhouse, and Agni, as I told you, is a very important constituent of that. Ayurveda always gives emphasis on the Agni. As said in the slide, you can see that Koshtha is like a powerhouse. Koshtha means whole GI tract. If we correlate with the modern science, then the whole GI tract can be considered as Koshtha. Breath, drinks and food are main fuels like natural gases, ideal and thermal fuels. As I told you in the last slide, that the yat pinde tat brahmande, like in Brahmand universe, whatever is there, we use fuels for the generation of power. Similarly, breath or the oxygen, drinks and food are the main source for the generation of power through Koshtha. The three fuels naturally contains sun, moon and wind to generate gross bioenergies are similar we have in our body are Kapha, Pitta and Vata, and send them for next transformation into finer organic energy as Rasa onwards. Rasa, Rakta, Mausmed, Asti, Majja, Shukra, these 7 dhatus can be formed by these natural resources which we consume in our day-to-day life. So sensory subjects also produce atomic energy directly. So Koshtha in short can be considered as powerhouse of our body and very important again in the maintenance of. In Ayurveda, 5 Vyadhi Ghataka are mentioned, means the substances which are responsible for manifestation of a disease, or in the pathogenesis these 5 are very important. One of the important substances are strotas or the channels which are spreaded throughout the body, and the normalcy of these strotas are also very important thing. As I said in Ayurveda, Vyadhi Ghatak, 5 Vyadhi Ghatakas are mentioned, Dosha, Dushya, Strotas, Agni and Am. Among them, Strotas are very considered as the important channels, body channels through which the health is also maintained. All our dhatus like Rasa, Rakta, Mausmed, even the blood is also transformed, get transferred or transported through the body through these strotas. So any obstruction in the strotas or any type of deformity when it forms, when any lesion is produced in these strotas, may definitely lead to disease manifestation. As in this slide you can see that strotas are like a transformer after powerhouse. The role of transformer is again very important. So strotas transform the biofluids, the mega energy source into the organic energy, then dilute the mega energy into nano energy at the acceptable capacity of every organization. There are sequence of such converters in the body. All they resides in the strotus or can be considered as part of strotus. Each cell has its own capacitor or transformer. So it is a very wide concept and very difficult to understand unless you understand very minutely. You study the concept of Ayurveda along with the examples of modern. So this example is given to convert the common biofluids according to specific need of apparatus or device. The normal functioning of strotus is a very important. So strotus plays a very important role, and any lesion, any deformity in the strotus may lead to disease manifestation readily. So we can say in nutshell that the maintenance of health or health maintenance is only possible by providing balance between the comfort and discomfort. So let's now have a discussion on the concept of Vikruti, how the imbalance takes place in our body. It is also known as Vikruti in the Ayurveda. Vikruti is the imbalance of three doshas, humors, which causes disturbance in normal functioning, resulting in the disease. As you can see in the picture, the batsman is trying to very difficultly trying to maintain his balance, so he cannot get out or touch the stumps. Similarly, it is a very important theory which required for the maintenance of health. Further, it is explained in Ayurveda that how disease get manifested. So when the causative doshas which we discussed earlier accumulate in the and excess and causes significant damage to the tissues or dhatus, vikaro dhatu vaishamyam, or organ, the disease get manifested. So the classical symptoms and signs of the disease does manifest by this dosha by affecting the normal dhatus, which again becomes vitiated. The clinical manifestation depends on the organ involved as well as the causative dosha. Which dosha is responsible and which dhatu is vitiated depending on the clinical manifestation or disease will result. So it is very important to understand this concept. They are further described as an individual disease. Then what is health? Health is a maintenance or providing balance between the physical comfort between the comfort and discomfort. Similarly, if we talk with the status of mind, the mind at ease is considered as balance, and when we are anxious it is considered as imbalance. Physical tension, when it is at normal level we feel relaxed, whereas at exaggerated level we feel tensed. Similarly, thinking process is clear when the doshas or all the three doshas are at normal level, it is clear, and it is muddled when any of these doshas or panchamahabhut or dhatus are affected. Mind body communication also can be maintained by dosha, and it is free flowing when normal doshas are there, and it is impeded when doshas are affected. Sensibilities or normal senses are tempered in the normal status, and it is extreme when these doshas are affected. Short term memory is also good when doshas are in normal status, and it is weak when doshas are vitiated. Similarly, intuitions are increased when doshas are in normal status, they are reduced when vitiated. Openness to the new ideas. See, all these are the day to day life processes which are at best status when the doshas are in normal status, and very much affected when doshas are in normal not in a normal status. These things are reduced in the status. So maintenance of not only health but all the day to day activities like perception of senses, the new ideas what we get also depend on the normalcy of dosha. Then interpersonal communication also, it is accepting in the normal status, it is defensive when the doshas are affected or vitiated. Then average heartbeat rate is also lower when doshas are in normal status, it is higher when we get disturbed due to the imbalance of this dosha or bodily constituents. Blood pressure is also at the lower or normal level. When doshas are normal, they are on higher level, in which especially the pitta dosha very much plays role. Similarly, breathing rate is also slower or normal level when vata is not vitiated. When it is vitiated, the breathing rate or the respiration rate also is faster. So maintenance of balance in the body can be only achieved by the maintenance of. Now let us discuss that Rog Nidan and Vikruti Vignan. In that subject, what exactly the principles are mentioned. So in Ayurveda, the disease study of disease is divided into two. One by the Roga Pariksha, that is the in-depth study of disease manifestation process. There are various principles mentioned, and another is the Rogi Pariksha, that is examination of patient. So as the science is progressing and advancing, the physicians are whether Ayurveda or modern physicians, they are going away from the diagnostic tools. Most of the physicians are relying upon the investigative methods or laboratory reports. So it should not happen. In Ayurveda, there are many scientific explanation or diagnostic methods, even examination methods are explained at various places. In ancient texts like Charak Samhita, Charak has explained very much important examination methods like Dashavidha Pariksha, etc. So some of that we can have a summary of that in this discussion. As discussed earlier, Ayurveda has given very much importance that Rogam Adav Pariksha. First, a person has to study a disease very well, and then only he should, or a physician or student should proceed for the treatment part. So study of disease is very important. In Ayurveda, the study of disease is mentioned in different texts in different way. Charak has mentioned the concept of Nidan Panchak to study a disease, in which 5 measures are there, 5 measures which help us to study a disease. Like for the consideration or study of etiology of disease, the concept of Nidan is explained in a very detail. 18 types or various concepts of Nidan are mentioned. Like there are some etiological factors which are readily responsible for disturbance in the dosha or manifestation of symptoms, whereas some Nidan or etiological factors can produce this disease after some time, or after some few days, or after some months even. So the study of Nidan is very important for the study of disease. Then a unique concept mentioned in Ayurveda, the Purvarup concept, to diagnose a disease in very early stage, because once the disease developed or get manifested fully, it becomes very difficult to treat. So if we diagnose the disease in early stage, in premonitory symptoms and signs, then it is considered as easy to treat that patient in early stage. This concept is unique in Ayurveda. Then the concept of Roop or symptoms and signs, each and every disease detailed the signs and symptoms are mentioned. Even they are classified on the basis of dosha, like Vataj, Pittach, Kaphaj in every disease. So the concept of Roop, then again unique concept of Upsha and Anupsha. Sometimes we feel that based on the signs and symptoms of patients, it is very difficult to diagnose a disease. So in that case, physician requires to diagnose a disease by advising some therapeutic measures to the patient. And like for example, if a patient has a joint pain and physician advises snehan, olation, massage by the oil, and then followed by the fomentation. If patient gets relief by these measures, then it can be considered as it is due to the Vata Prakop or vitiation of Vata. If it aggravates the symptoms, then it may be due to Am or Kapha dosha predominant. So by this, applying this knowledge, Upsha and Anupsha, sometimes the Gudalinga Vyadhi or the difficult diagnosed the diseases which are difficult to diagnose can be diagnosed. Similarly, the Samprapti concept is there, which explains the each and every stage of disease manifestation. we can say it is a pathogenesis of disease. Why this Samprapti concept is required? Because as we know the each and every step of disease, we can, if identify in the early stages, we can check the disease progress by providing in the initial stage, like in this pandemic situation when the people are getting corona. Before that there must be some symptoms like hoarseness of voice or even some irritation in the throat. In the initial stage, if we have a hot water drinking or a medicine like shunthi, it is very much helpful in this the early stage. If we give it, then it may further check the progress, and sometimes even we may not get the further progress or disease manifestation. So Samprapti is very important because the line of treatment is decided on the basis of stages of this disease manifestation. So this the Nidan Panchak concept is mentioned by Charak and very much helpful for the study of disease. Acharya Sushrut in his Sushrut Samhita mentioned a similar concept in which different stages of doshas are mentioned. The concept is known as Shat Kriya Kal concept. It is also helpful in understanding the disease manifestation process, in which the Sanchay, Prakop, Prasar, Sthan Samshraya, Vyakti and Bhed, these concepts are mentioned. So these are the from early stage to the complications stage, up to the complications, these things are mentioned. So as early as we diagnose the disease and treat the disease, it will not further go, as mentioned by Sushrut that Sanchay Aparhuta Dosha Labhantena Uttaragati. If we check the progress of disease in the Sanchay Avastha itself, in the accumulation stage of dosha, then we can further prevent the spread of dosha in the body. Further we can prevent the sthan samshraya, that is the localization or aggregation of dosha at one place. Further we can check the progress of the complete manifestation, that is vyakti, and complications, that is bhed of the disease. So this concept is very important. One important concept which generally even general people have some misconceptions in their mind, that Ayurveda physicians only should diagnose with the pulse examination or nadi pariksha, whether it is true or false. So up to some extent it may be true that a physician, by observing pulse or examination of pulse or nadi pariksha, he can make some diagnosis of different status of dosha, etc. But the complete confirmed diagnosis, whether it is possible through nadi pariksha or not, or the pulse examination is that much importance, should Ayurveda physician should rely upon only nadi pariksha or not, that you will get answer in my next slides. So let's have a look on that. Very scientific clinical methods are explained in Ayurveda. As we have discussed that the nadi pariksha, people have a misconception that nadi pariksha is the only pulse examination Ayurveda physician should do and should know about our health or the morbid status, but it is not true 100%. Up to some extent it is possible to make a diagnosis or to decide the status of dosha by conducting pulse examination or nadi pariksha. There are various methods, scientific methods explained in Ayurveda for physical examination, and the physician or Ayurveda student should not only rely upon nadi pariksha. As a modern physician also, you can see nowadays that they are also relied upon very much on the laboratory tests and their investigations, reports, as well as x-rays, radiology, sonography and their reports only, and they are not even conducting the physical examination and making diagnosis. So the conduct of physical examination or rogi pariksha is very much scientifically explained in Ayurveda. There are various methods like Trividha Pariksha, trifold examination mentioned in Ayurveda, which have like darshan, sparshan and prashna. The darshan means the observation, sparshan is the palpation method, and prashna means interrogation. All these examination methods are mentioned in Ayurveda. Fourfold examinations various are there, like Ashtavidh Pariksha is there, a very important. We are not going in detail of all this, but the Dashvidh Pariksha or the tenfold examination is mentioned by Charak, and it has a very scientific basis, and even it is applicable in today's era. Before starting the physical examination, a student or Ayurveda physician should have a clinical skills. What is the meaning by clinical skills? So by clinical skills, one should have adequate knowledge of medical texts in their entirety. So before starting treatment or examination, one should have a very depth knowledge, detailed knowledge of the text. Then practical experience is also important, that only theoretical knowledge is not sufficient. One should practice by going into the wards, examining the patients regularly. By skills and purity, by skills only can be developed by regular practice and teaching to the others. Then infallibility of prescriptions, one should have adequate knowledge of prescriptions, then only he can prescribe the medicines or panchakarma therapy etc. to the patients. Then possession of normal sense in the physician are required. Requisite equipment also required for the conduct of examination. And we should not only rely upon the Nadi Pariksha, or Ayurveda physician should also have a different modern gadgets for the examination purpose, like because it is modern science. So Ayurveda physician also can use a stethoscope for the examination purpose. Then we can use a torch, measuring tapes, tongue depressor, knee hammer etc. for the assessment of predominance of dosh also. These modern techniques or gadgets can be used. Knowledge of various natural manifestations already discussed in the Prakruti. Then presence of mind is very important, because if presence of mind is not there, then in the difficult conditions or severe stages of patient, it will be very difficult to treat the patient. Clinical methods in Ayurveda mentioned and can be examined with reference to the physical constitution. Prakruti already we discussed, the morbidity status, then excellence of Dhatu Sara Pariksha, then compactness of organ or Sanhanan Pariksha, measurements of organ or parts of body, that is Praman Pariksha, are very important examination methods. Then the Satmya, what is suitable to the patient, not suitable, should be known by the physician. Then Sattva Pariksha will be mentioned in the next slide in detail. Then the food intake capacity of patient also should be assessed by Ahara Shakti. Then physical ability of the person or physical capability can be assessed by Vyayam Shakti. And according to age also different doshic predominance is mentioned in the Ayurveda, like in the childhood the person have a predominance of kapha, so there are chances of diseases like common cold, cough etc. in the childhood. In the middle age or Yuvavastha, the person has a chances of getting like acidity, hyperchlorhydria, ulceration etc. In the old age, because of predominance of Vayu, person has a chances of getting the conditions like osteoarthritis or like that. So it is very important to assess the things. Patient should be examined for the excellence of dhatus, that is Sara Pariksha. All the body constituents like Rasa Rakta, Maus Med, Asti, Majja and Shukra can be assessed by proper formation of these dhatus, like skin tissues by examination of blood, the muscle tissues, adipose tissues, bone tissues, marrows, semen, the Shukra, and even the mental faculties also can be examined by this Sara Pariksha. Sattva Pariksha is very much important, because I personally believe that the person who is very strong mentally can progress further in the lifetime, and very much important the Sattva, because those who are having our Sattva has a very much difficulty and cannot cope up in the difficult situations in the life. So the strength of Srotas is very much important. So as discussed in the previous slides, Ayurveda text explains very scientific methods of diagnosis. So, whether the modern science knowledge is required or not for Ayurveda physician. So, answer is given in the next slides, that no science can be complete. One should have a knowledge in entirety of Ayurveda, as Ayurveda texts are based in the Sanskrit. Simultaneously, a doctor who is going to complete their BAMS degree, or those who are studying Rog Nidan and Vikruti Vignan, should also have a parallel knowledge of the modern science, the concepts of pathology, all the disease manifestation process of pathology, like in this present pandemic situation. The coronavirus concept or the infection, it is not available in Ayurveda text. So one should definitely study the concept according to modern science, how the disease get manifested, and the suitable Ayurveda medicines can be decided. So the same thing is mentioned in my next slides. Acharya Charak in Ayurveda text explained that a physician should always feel the pain of patient. It is not possible to treat a patient mechanically, or just by making a confirmed diagnosis and deciding line of treatment. It is very much required that you should feel a pain of patient. What the pain? Pain means any type of discomfort which is felt by the patient should also be felt by a physician, Ayurveda physician, and then only you will able to treat that patient completely or very much effectively. Charak has clearly in the Vimastan again said that nahi jnana avayavena krusne jneye jnanam utpadyate. The complete knowledge cannot be achieved by the part of studying subject. One cannot acquire authoritative knowledge of a thing in all its aspects simply by examining it through a part of this source of knowledge. One should try to get knowledge from all the resources available. So Ayurveda physician or student also should study a modern science parallel. The student of Rog Nidan and Vikruti Vignan should also study the concepts of pathology mentioned by modern science, all the laboratory methods, the examination methods mentioned in modern science, the radiology knowledge, the sonography, CT scan, MRI, even electrocardiography. All things can be learned and should be learned by a student of Ayurveda and student of Rog Nidan and Vikruti Vignan. As in Ayurveda, knowledge of clinical methods with scientific description is available in various Samhita. The purpose of this examination is to obtain knowledge regarding the line of treatment that should be adopted with a view of correcting the morbidity. So in view of the treating the patient or getting the patient free, let the patient free from the disease, it is required that we should have adequate knowledge of all the sciences. Further, this is very important quotation mentioned by Charak, that Jnana Buddhi Pradipena Yona Vishati Tattvavit Aturasya Antaratmanam Na Sa Rogansh Chikitsati. Patient should feel pain of the patient. When a physician who, even if well versed in the knowledge of the disease and its treatment, does not try to enter into the heart of the patient by virtue of light of his knowledge, he will not be able to treat the disease. Even physically we can give relief to the patient, but overall, when patient can be considered as fully treated, when we feel the pain of patient and when a patient get completely relieved from all his discomforts in day-to-day life. So thank you very much for the patient listening. Yes, Dr. Dhanvantari, I am very much thankful to the organizers of this Youth of Ayurveda channel, and very much grateful for giving me opportunity to put forth my views regarding my subject Rog Nidan and Vikruti Vignan. I wish all the best to the channel and in propagating Ayurveda, and for the sake of for the benefit of Ayurveda students and even for the patients. थैंक यू वेरी मच, धन्यवाद।